Talk now about some events. Now, event, as I say event, right? So we know exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying event is what a computer program is doing, right? Like it's basically looking for some type of input. There's lots of different kind of events that computers can have. There's user input events, there's time events, or there is, for lack of a better word, connections from other programs, right? And your whole computer system, everything that you're viewing this on your phone, on your smartwatch, whatever it is, are listening for events. And that's the crazy part. And it's sometimes a little bit hard for us to grasp because looking for events sometimes doesn't make as much sense as we want. So I'm going to show you the easy way to do events first. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how the better, more sophisticated way to do events is. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I saved it as events.html. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with our actual HTML page. Let's actually just create a new document for us. Save new HTML document. Sure, looks good. Okay, save that up. We'll call this demo HTML. All right, so let's get started. First of all, we can go really easy with things. For example, what I might do, I'm going to create a script. And I'm going to write a function in there. And we're going to call that function click feedback. Doesn't take any parameters. And what do I want to do? I want to do console.log. What are we going to say? Clicked. Okay. All right, so that's my function. So when do we call the function? Well, I'm just going to set up a nice page here, event demo /h1. Set up an ahref equals. Now I'm going to use a hashtag because that means actually just do nothing. But you probably know that from your days of taking HTML equivalency exams. And I'm going to say click here /a. Okay. Now let's load this page up. File, open, file. Let's go to documents. Let's go to 618. Oops. It's from another project I'm working on. Events demo. All right, open. Ta-da! Event demo. Click here. Let's actually go ahead and open up our web developer. Our browser console, right? Tons of errors there. That's not what I want. I want it to be part of the thing. Web developer. Oh, it was what I wanted. Sorry. There it is, web console. I wanted it in one piece. Okay, so click here. What's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? Because in this code, the href doesn't even go somewhere, right? It just has this hashtag. So let's go ahead and add some code to it. What I can do is I can add an event to this, such as on, we'll try mouse up. What am I going to run? I'm going to run click feedback. Save. Okay. Reload my demo. Click here. It says clicked. Click here. Okay, it just said that there. Okay. Cool. Right? Super. So I now have an event. And so what is the event? In this case, the event is on mouse up. And so what does mouse up mean? Mouse up means that if you imagine the mouse button being depressed, that's mouse down. And then when you let go of the button, that's mouse up. Okay? So that's mouse up. This is an old school term from like the days of the late 90s in multimedia, because people sometimes need to do something when the mouse is depressed, and sometimes you need to do something when the mouse button is lifted. So that's click feedback. What else can we do here? Well, our function up here, it's just like any other function. We can take a parameter, and I can do something like click feedback, and I might put in there a message. Save it. Reload it. Sorry about that. I have to re-encode that. Can I clear it? Can I clear it? Can I clear it? There we go. And I hit click here. This is an event, right? So what it did in this case was on mouse up, on click feedback, this is an event. It sent it to here. It did it. Why is this cool? This is cool because anytime we draw something on the screen, we're able to now get an event out of it. We're able to do something with it and not just rely on hrefs like different URLs. Okay? Just a couple other ones to show you. There's mouse down. In this case, I don't know if you're going to really tell the difference without seeing me click, but as I'm about to press 1, 2, 3, I'm holding the button down. Whoops. I'm holding the button down and it does it, as opposed to clicking and letting go. All right. There's a whole bunch of events for you. I've got mouse down, mouse move, mouse out. That means if something leaves a particular, I'll show you this one. This one's silly. On mouse out, what script? Well, we'll just delete that. There you go. And save. Go here. Now, as I'm not clicking anything. I'm entering my mouse in. I'm going to mouse myself away. It triggers, right? So you can do stuff like when you roll over something, when you enter, when you mouse out, or mouse in. Is it mouse in? Could be mouse enter. It's mouse over. Thanks. It's a mouse over. So in this case, as I mouse my mouse over, you'll notice I'm not touching any buttons, and there it is. It triggered it. That was the event. So as I enter there, it triggers it. That's great. So if you want to do a rollover or you want to do some type of interaction like that, you can do that as well. All right. So now let's take a look at the next thing I can do. So like I was saying, the other thing we can do is add an image to this. For example, I have to look up what the image is called, sorry. Let's see, what's it called? JPG, this is a picture of me, which is probably not what you need to see right now. Okay. Right. So if I move my mouse in and out of there, it doesn't really matter. But if I scroll down and click here, as I move in, it activates. What if I want to make this have an event to it as well? I can do a lot of the same kind of things. I can say on mouse, I'm going to mouse up equals click feedback on an image. Save. Reload. And if I click on this, this is on an image. So roll over here, this is an event. So I'm able to start putting lots of different complicated things, complicated interactions on my events. All right, so the next thing we'll watch a video on is how to do this in a different way. Instead of having to do this on mouse up, you're actually going to learn how to take an object like this and have a listener. And the reason that that's powerful is, what if I were to add an input box Sorry. It should have been a lot more dramatic than that. What if I want to have... Yeah, it was there. I just moved it to make it easier to see. If I were to have something like a box here, put up top here just to make it easier, and switch over to our web page. If I were to have a box here and I want to do something when I type as opposed to having to hit a submit button, you can do that. But how does one know what's going on? That's what an event listener is, and that's coming up next.